And everybody is so worried about the elite, and we could give those names of Barack Obama, Joe Biden. We know about Michelle Obama, that's a man. We know about Too Short. We know about Akon and Steven Tyler, and we can give those names all day. And everybody is so worried about that. But what you should be worried about is the people that are in between.
So the names that you just mentioned, Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama, have you had personal sexual experiences with these people?
Yes.
These people participated in abuse firsthand with you.
Yes.
Can you tell that story? Because that's important for people to understand and to know. And to this point, I don't think a national platform has given you the opportunity to say those things.
With Cassie and Sean, basically he would tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why I put in the front desk and I blow the chandelier. I know you may or may not, I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Okay. Yeah, Illuminati. Okay. They've made it in dance. Basically what it means, illuminated.
Okay.
Okay. They do satanic ritual abuse, which is basically CIA mind programming techniques to their own family, kids, etc. on the crew, and they bond that way. Okay, so they do animal abuse of animals, sacrifices, and everything in the Bohemian Grove.
This has been the most bizarre change of events in 1 week that I've ever experienced before ever. And that says a lot on this channel because we've covered a lot of big stories before, but this video right here will be second to none. So let me start this off by saying everything in this video is alleged. Everything in this video I don't know to be absolute truth. I am going to only share what other people have said and just connect the dots, and I'm going to leave you all to decide if you believe this or not. About 7 months ago, we covered this woman by the name of Allie Carter, who's accused Diddy and many other people of several other things, including politicians. And some of those politicians included some presidents. And y'all heard the clip, so I don't want to have to say it myself. Well, things just took a nasty turn that adds some validity to her story. Because there's a guy by the name of Jonathan Odie, who we've talked about multiple times on this channel, and a lot of you all are new to the channel. So when I spoke about it in my last 2 videos, I had people in the comment section asking me, what all did he say? Because I didn't show the entire interview in its entirety, which by the way, if you want to see it, I'll link it here. But I'm going to, in this video, show some other parts of that interrogation of Jonathan Odie and what he said about P. Diddy and Cassie and some people tied to P. Diddy. And I'm also going to do some apologizing to Donald Trump because I actually misspoke. And those people in the comment section that weren't rocking with it, they said Trump is against the agenda. I said I find it hard to believe that you can make it to the White House and not be a part of the agenda, and I still stand by that. But right is right and wrong is wrong, and I actually misspoke. And he was not, this guy Jonathan Odie was accused. He wasn't just accused. He's on video footage pow-powing up the Trump hotel. When he was interrogated as to why or what motivated him to do this, he said that he was warning Trump. 4 years ago, he predicted that there was a Trump assassination attempt on its way. He said they were going to assassinate Trump. 4 years ago, he said this, y'all. And as we know what we know now. But he said this 4 years ago. Which, by the way, speaking of that, if you want the uncensored version, for whatever reason, YouTube has been censoring my videos, in many cases demonetizing my videos, since I've been talking about this Diddy situation. If you want to support me, and if you want, support me or not, if you want the uncensored version and access to other videos, including my video that's on its way about Kobe Bryant's death, about Shannon Sharpe, and some other big topics that will be some of the biggest videos I've ever created before, please consider becoming a member of the Patreon for just a small fee. You can also join for free as well. I appreciate you all's support. Why are we talking about Jonathan Odie? Jonathan Odie, guy who was arrested for pow-powing up the Trump hotel, this same guy, when he was interrogated, started rambling and talking about a bunch of random things that these police officers and investigators, I believe at the time, thought was completely irrelevant. It was like, what does this have to do with anything? And he was like, no, all of this is related. And he said a lot of things, from Diddy being a part of the Illuminati, him being a Freemason, to him being connected to other people. Well, everything changed when the mainstream media actually confirmed that this guy 100% is connected to Diddy, 100% did sign a $5 million NDA agreement with Diddy. But the biggest news came out yesterday when Cassie got on the stand, and Cassie actually confirmed when they showed several photos of different male escorts. Jonathan Odie was one of them, and she not only confirmed that she knew him and that he was legit, but she admitted to meeting him multiple times. It says here on The Sun, in court on Wednesday, Cassie Ventura identified a former escort named Jonathan Odie as one of the men Sean Diddy Combs hired for freak-offs. Odie was arrested in 2018 after he had cops after storming the lobby of the Trump National Golf Club in Miami with a gun and an American flag. When cops questioned him after the claimed he had encounters with Cassie and that he was a quote-unquote slave by Combs, he told officers he signed a non-disclosure agreement for $5 million to buy his silence after the freak-offs. It was seen as a bizarre allegation from the Raven man at the time, but Cassie identified in court today when she was shown a picture of him by the prosecutor. Cassie says she saw in Miami multiple times. Cassie also testified that she did not remember how the term off came about, but she recalls Sean Combs proposed this encounter that he called voyeurism, where he would match me in intercourse activity with another man within the first year of their relationship. I just remember my stomach falling, just the nervousness. I think I was 22 at the time. I didn't have a concept to how that would be a turn on, but I also felt a sense of responsibility, him sharing that with me. Ventura testified, I wanted to make him happy. Well, things just took another turn because there were other things that Jonathan said in this clip, as a lot of you all should know from watching my other videos. But if you haven't seen other videos, he said everything from Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, and Diddy are all gay. He said they're a part of a cabal. But I don't know how I missed this before, because that's not the only thing he said. And first we're going to read this information, and then we're going to go to the video clip, and I'm going to let you all hear for yourself out of his mouth what he said. Breaking: Diddy slave in Trump hotels who claims Diddy, Hillary Clinton, and Obama are part of a satanic cabal, says he secretly recorded a Diddy off due to fear Cassie Ventura may end up dead. Diddy worker Jonathan Odie, who engaged in a Trump Doro in Miami in 2018, told news stations in an exclusive jail interview that he secretly videotaped a Diddy party in fear that Cassie Ventura or someone else would after they passed out from the drug-fueled parties. Odie said he worried if Cassie or anyone he would be liable, so he purchased a video recording device from a spot shop and put it on a table at Diddy's party. He claims he used the videotape as leverage and as a dead man's switch when he went to the settlement table with Diddy. He claims that Diddy paid him $5 million and had him sign an NDA to prevent the video from going public. Odie added that Diddy wore a t-shirt with two men in ski masks making gun signals as a threat to him that he would unalive him. What in the world?
I had with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why I put in the front desk and I blow the chandelier. Basically, what I did that for is to transmit a statement to the American people and to Donald Trump that we're not accepting any more corruption and abuse from their system of friends, okay? Donald's still blind because he thinks that he let Hillary off the hook and she's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying, okay. Keep going.
It ain't like that. The CIA and then they want to do the same thing that he did to JFK.
There it is.
Okay?
All right.
Why? Because they want the United States to fall. They've already been creating a state of chaos and confusion in the United States, and they want the United States to fall. Donald was against their agenda and won the presidency, okay? So, I know you may or may not, I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Okay. Yeah, Illuminati, okay.
Okay.
They've made it in dance. Basically what it means, illuminated.
I got you.
Okay. They do satanic ritual abuse, which is basically CIA mind programming techniques to their own family, kids, etc. on the crew, and they bond that way. Okay, so they do animal abuse of animals, sacrifices, and everything in the Bohemian Grove. Okay,
Alright.
The Bohemian Grove, the Bushes go there. George Senior and George, both of them are in the same agenda. They cousins with the Clintons, okay, Sean, okay, and he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5. Okay.
Night, Friday morning. I mean, how did all of this? I think I better understand what you're saying, but what I want to know is how did that prompt you? How did that make you do what you did that night?
Well, we're getting to a point that his assassination is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's an agenda they're perpetrating on the media and the news. Example, Madonna is a client of Mercedes, Ben Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
He has her go on public TV and say, oh, someone should, I have thought so many times of going up and blowing up the White House.
Gotcha.
Okay, they give her that little message. That little message is Hillary's message, okay? Because Hillary sends it to Garagos, and Garagos gives it to Mercedes, and they give it to
Gotcha.
the
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
Okay, now
I get all of that.
you're gonna need an internet so I can show you. If I show you the website, you're just gonna go like.
Look, it's up to you all to decide if you believe this guy or not. I'm gonna hold my opinions to myself, at least on YouTube, because again, I'm only sharing what this man said, but I will say this. He's been proven to be right about multiple other things. So when he's in a video clip saying things like Hillary Clinton and the Obamas and the Bushes performed these rituals at the Bohemian Grove and they were against Trump and that they were going to try to assassinate Trump, and then here we are years later and what he said was true. And once again, it lines up with multiple things that Ali Carter said. The woman that many of you continue to discredit when we don't have absolute proof that she's not credible. But she continues to be right about so many different things. Make that make sense to me. You can't deny the fact the dude has been, I'm not saying everything that he says is true, but guys, all of it is lining up. It's lining up, bro. And I'm not gonna say like I'm the most shocked, but the way that this stuff comes about, look, my biggest thing is for people to believe that Diddy is just when similar stories continue to come out about different people. R. Kelly, people want to argue that these people are innocent. It's not even about the legal part of it, bro. Because in this clip 4 years ago, once again, is linking Diddy's attorneys, the attorneys that's currently representing Diddy. 4 years ago, this guy was talking about it in an interrogation and saying that all of these people are in a cabal. All of these people are linked together by quote unquote brotherhood. They do things to animals and their children and as a way of bonding. And it's not quote unquote freak offs, just like Ali Carter said. They're satanic in nature. It's something bigger going on here than just being. The last thing I want to say for this video is I am side-eyeing Cassie, and I'm just being honest. If Cassie at no point in this trial mentions on her own, she should not have to be asked about it. But if she doesn't in any way or shape or form mention that Diddy is a Freemason, which she 100% knows that. You don't be with a man like that for years and not know that. But let's say you give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she didn't know. If you get up there and you say that you don't understand at this point in time what those quote unquote freak offs was about, I believe that you are controlled opposition. I do. You said, well, she's testifying against him, she's hurting him. But is she? Because if you're not totally honest about what y'all were doing and the purpose of all of this, then I question your motive. That's my personal opinion. You know that y'all were engaging in something that was more than just about, pleasing yourself, pleasing Diddy. It was more than that. So if she in no way, shape, or form actually talk about the purpose of why they was doing all of this, which I can't say too much on YouTube, then I'm side-eyeing Cassie. And I'm going to keep my eye on this trial to see how it really turns out. Because remember, Brian Steele is also representing Diddy, if I'm remembering that correctly, who is the same attorney that represented Young Thug. And if you're like most of us out here, regular Smojos, Joe Smos, when the Young Thug trial, who was also charged with the RICO, it was clear as day to us. He's definitely guilty. He cooked. Federal or state, you charged with a RICO with all that evidence, you cooked. Young Thug is free.
I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases.
I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases.
There's a lot of technicalities and a lot of loopholes that they find throughout the trial. You could be guilty as they, but if they can find something, you get off free as a bird. So I'm gonna keep my eye on this trial to see how this turns out. Y'all hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts as always. Again, appreciate your support. Hit the like button as always. I'm Demetrius. I go by Diddy. That's all for this. Till next time. Peace.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.